Okay, we're gonna do one more, and I know you're probably getting tired of this form stuff, but this is where music education really opens up the ears of the children. So that's why I'm spending a lot of time here. We have a formal structure that was used a lot back in the 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s, called rondo. It's Italian. You take that word and you translate it into English, and we get round. It's not round like row, row, row your boat that we've talked about in other places and other formal structures where you have two of the same melody kind of chasing each other. This is round in a sense that we're going to create a rounded form or a symmetrical form. And that's what this is all about. There's actually two types of rondo, and this is called the short form. And you'll notice that it's a little bit symmetrical because we have something different on these and A in the middle. But the more rounded form is this one right here, A, B, A, C, A, B, A, which is exactly symmetrical and creates a nice round structure. So this is the one I like to use with children, even though their attention spans work better with this one. But I want to listen to a round and give you some tips as to what I would do with the students as I was doing this. So you'll notice there's only three sections here, A, B, A, C. Sorry, I meant to just write A, B, C. So we got three sections, and here's what I would do. I would take little squares of paper and give them a crayon or a marker and have them do an A on their paper with their color and make that all pretty in one color, and then get another paper and put a B on it in a different color. And a lot of times we'll do different shapes around them so that we know that those are completely different. And with my chalk I can't do anything different colors, but this is a color and a shape, this is a color and a shape, this is a color and a shape, all separate. Okay? And then they have those little things. And then we turn on the music, and when you hear the A section, hold up your A card. When we hear the B section, hold up your B card. And as we go through the song, we're going to hear several different things in the music. And also, this is a wonderful song to do motion, movement activities with, because it's kind of a happy, really fun song. This is a song by Zoltan Kodály. You've heard of him before, hopefully. Kodály was one of the great music educators of all time. And he was a composer, a very good composer, in fact. And this is probably his most famous piece of music. It's called the Hari János Suite. And this particular section of that song is called the Viennese Clock. And so immediately you say the word clock, and all of a sudden the students have a visual imagery in their mind. So what does a clock do? What sounds does a clock make? Let's see if we can hear a clock in this music. So I'm going to turn this on. We're just going to listen to the introduction very briefly, and we'll talk about it for a second, then we'll go into the form. Okay, so there's a very brief introduction with not very much going on, but there's a chime player, somebody hitting these long tubes, metal tubes, and it's supposed to sound like a tick-tock, 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 but a little fancier, okay? So the students can hear the beat that's imitating the clock, and that's an important instrument. It's kind of a high, shimmering instrument that's easy to hear. And that's what's really going to distinguish between our sections. So I want you to listen for that instrument and point that out to the children before we get going. Okay, so that's in the background as we listen to our A theme. Here we go. High shimmery sounds. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Something completely different. There's our tick-tock again. Nice shimmery stuff. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Something completely different. We could do something different here. There's our high shimmery stuff. Now wait a second, what's this? We actually have a D in this song. Back to our high shimmery stuff. Okay, so Mr. Kodai kind of throws us for a loop right here with this D section. That's not supposed to be in rondo form. So this is kind of a revised rondo form, but we do have A, B, A, C, A, something, A. Usually this is B, but he throws something completely different in there, so we gotta have a different shape. So we do have to add a D and create another card, okay? All right. Now, the cool thing about this piece is once they start to understand this, and they can hold up their signs when the right section happens, or they can do the right motion, and you'll notice that they each have different character to the music. So, why not have them write down some of the differences? This is kind of lighthearted. It's got that tick-tock, very steady beat. This one's a little softer. There's not as much going on. Our tick-tock goes away, and then we have this come back. The C section was even softer, but it had more of a, I don't know, it all sounds kind of like a march because of the tick-tock, but the rhythms in this were more regulated, I guess you could say. And so that's why I felt like marching during the C section. And then the D section was completely different. So have students listen for some of the differences in those formal structures and have them tell you about it, especially with the older grades as they get to the point where they're not so appreciative of some of the motion exercises and want to just talk more in complex terms. So there's an example of a more complex form with a fun little piece of music that you